full day of eating. We're trying to bulk. Start the day with some moringa or some greens and some creatine monohydrates. Of course, that is every day. Well, it's not about the taste, because it doesn't taste. It's not about the taste, as you see them, my face is like, eh. But just the health benefits of the whole thing. So some green and some creatine, start the day, and obviously some water. And then we get to meal number one: a bowl of oats, some fruits, and some protein. I'm not going to be counting calories in this video, because it's basically how you should eat, or how I would eat if I would ever have to try and gain weight again. So basically, it's just you eat as much as you can, because the goal is to gain weight, and it's weight on the scale. It's not muscle or anything like that. So I'm not really counting calories, but I do have an idea of how much it is. It's over 5,000 calories, as you would see throughout the day. So the oats, and crush the oats, obviously hydrate as much as you can, because with some creatine earlier, and obviously you need your water. Yeah, then some work. That bowl of oats was quite something. And now off to meal number two. This about 3 hours or so later. 6 eggs, slice of bread, 2 slices of bread, some avo, those good fats, and the bread and the butter. It's for the calories. As I said, if you want to try to gain weight, or if you're one of those who are categorize yourself as a heart, a heart gainer, there's little things that's going to add, just to make sure that you try and push the scale. So butter is one of them, peanut butter, oil and all of that. But I'm not trying to gain weight or anything like that. I'm just showing that this is how I ate when I wanted to gain weight. At my lowest weight, I was about 65 kilograms, and at my heaviest, I was at 115. This is how I would eat if ever I would have to try and gain weight again, or if I wanted to sort of bulk at the highest level. This is how I would do it. So that's done and dusted. Meal 3, made pasta earlier. So it's pasta, some chicken, and I think, yes, I also had a green apple, just for digestion and fiber and all of that. You don't want issues when you need to go to the restroom. So that's the reason for. That's not the main reason, but that's one of the reasons why I just have green apple randomly, because I don't think it goes well with the meal, or it doesn't suit the meal. But yeah, you need to have your I don't really eat a lot of veggies and all of that, so I try to get my greens somewhere. Obviously I had a moringa drink earlier, and also have an apple, and also add the rest of the apple, the other apple, in the oats. Obvious oats also high in fiber and all of that. So when you're trying to eat serious amounts of food, you have to sort of keep it in mind, so you don't have issues, or there's no discomfort, or it's unpleasant when you need to, go sit down and do your thing in the morning or whenever you do your thing. Meal 4, pasta and some minced pilchard. So that is, those who don't know, it's fish in a can, but this one is minced. So you need also good fats, your omegas. Fish as an overall meal, or as an overall component in your nutrition, it really helps. The good fats, omega 3s and 6, you need those. You can do the research yourself, but once in a while you need some fish, those good fats. So, but that's one in the can, and some pasta. This one was heavy. This one was heavy, but I think I said this. I was speaking to somebody that when you're trying to bulk, there's no discussion, there's no negotiation, there's no I don't have appetite, there's none of that. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat, regardless, because the goal is you want to gain weight. So if you don't feel like eating, you don't have appetite, or you're still full, or it's secondary. The main goal is to eat and gain weight. Yeah, it was very heavy. And a couple of hours later, some bread, some chocolate spread and butter, ginger biscuit, hot chocolate. This is just calories. This is very calorie dense. This is a normal, what do you call it, hazelnut spread. You can search the calories there for yourself, but this was pleasant. Sweet, chocolatey, milky, with a little bit of the ginger flavor on the biscuit. Yes, this was enjoyable. Still hiding calories though, but as I said, we're not cutting calories, we're just eating because we want to gain weight. But we can definitely look up the calories yourself. But as I said, all in all, the whole day of this eating, most likely over 5,000 calories, because I'm not done. I don't know if you can see, but it's already night. Now it's midnight. Last meal of the day, or last thing that I consumed, was 2 scoops of the mess gainer. This is that NPL mess gainer, but you can do any mess gainer of your choice, as long as the mess gainer, which has a lot of calories compared to the normal whey protein. So yeah, that's basically full day of eating when you're trying to bulk. For any questions, any tips, anything, drop them in the comment. And once again, if you're trying to gain weight on the scale, there's no negotiations, there's no I don't have appetite, or whatever the case is. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat. It works okay if you just try and eat every 3 hours. If you're gonna make it shorter, it becomes more challenging. But every 3 hours, it works better. That's how I did it. Every 3 hours, and then have a shake midnight.